Okay, guys, we are live. So, for those listening at home, welcome to the Live from the Sword Coast podcast. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly dungeon master this evening. Tonight, we're doing something brand new, and to celebrate being brand new, we've got a brand new star joining us on the Wednesday sessions. So, tonight, what we're going to do is, because I have a fairly lengthy 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons game coming up in my relatively near future, I thought it would be good for me to get back into the swing of 5th edition and start running some stuff again. And what struck my fancy this week was actually a pretty interesting hack that I found for 5th edition for the World of Warcraft. So tonight, we are going to be using 5th edition D&D to create some characters in the Warcraft setting of Azeroth and taking them out for a spin. And with me tonight for this maiden voyage into Azeroth are the stars of the Wednesday night session. And maybe what I'll do is I'll go in reverse so we can save the newest for last. First up, we've got Steve-O.
Good evening. I have yet to determine what I'm playing, but looks like a good game.
Nice. And next up is Jeffrey.
Everybody, I'm Jeff, and as regular viewers will know, we are making new characters again, as is tradition almost on our podcast or our show. And tonight,
what are you drinking?
Some Oban. I don't know if you can see that. Fancy
Pretty
stuff.
Nice. And joining us for his maiden voyage on the Dungeon Musings channel is Jordan.
How's it going?
So, Jordan, you're just slightly out of frame as well.
I know, I'm trying to find the right thing for my... Oh, there's my camera.
So Jordan and I played together quite a few years ago, but he has been busy with school and life the last little while, and he has now finished up apparently both of them. So he's rejoining us.
Yeah.
All right. So so what we're going to be playing, I sent the guys the info, and unfortunately I didn't plan well enough ahead, so I didn't include a link to the set of rules we're using, but I will do that because if you are interested in seeing a hack of the World of Warcraft setting, these are the best ones I found so far. They're pretty fucking cool. So I want to start tonight, guys, with a little opening kind of opening bit of a monologue, I guess, to set the tone for what we're playing, because we're all going to be playing the same race. What you see before you guys on the screen is the kingdom of Quel'Thalas. And Quel'Thalas, it's called Quel'Thalas, but I always want to make it a K. The in-game thing is Quel'Thalas, and I'm probably going to mispronounce that. But the intro is, for nearly 7,000 years, the High Elves cultivated a shining magical kingdom hidden deep in the forests of northern Lordaeron. But 5 years ago, the undead scourge invaded Quel'Thalas and drove the elves to the brink of extinction. Led by the evil Death Knight, Arthas, the scourge destroyed the mystical Sunwell, thereby severing the elves from the source of their arcane power. Though the scars of that conflict are evident, the remaining elves have banded together and taken much of their homeland. Calling themselves the Blood Elves, these grim survivors are committed to regaining the vast powers they once commanded. Inspired by the leadership of their beloved prince, Kel'Thas Sunstrider, the Blood Elves now seek new sources of arcane magic and the means of defending their lands against the undying horrors of the Scourge. As one of the few surviving Blood Elves, you must master your thirst for magic and help shape the destiny of your people.
So we're all Blood Elves?
You're all Blood Elves, yeah. So I think what we'll do is we'll sort of do all of this together. We'll talk about sort of the backstory of the Blood Elves. If you're not familiar, I know, Steve, you played Warcraft before. Jeff, you had mentioned that you played Hearthstone, but hadn't played World of Warcraft. Jordan, have you played World of Warcraft or the Warcraft games?
Yeah. Is this like pre-Lich King kind of thing?
Yeah, this will be set around the time of the start of the Burning Crusade.
Yeah. I'm familiar with that.
Okay,
I played
cool.
Warcraft, like not WoW, but Warcraft 2 and 3.
Okay, cool. So then, yeah, if you play 3, then you're very familiar with the story of what's happened to the kingdom. So just to kind of set the tone, so there are different kinds of elves in this, but the neat thing about the World of Warcraft setting is that there is a really rich and dynamic history behind everything. Like, it's not on its surface you would think that it's just a video game. It's just got some, what do you call it? It's just I don't know, like it's just got like a surface level kind of thing of stereotypical creatures, but like it really doesn't. Like it's like for instance, the elves that you guys are playing are actually basically outcasts from another race of elves because they wouldn't give up their association with arcane magic. It was considered a crime punishable by death by the other group of elves. But all of the elves themselves are actually descended from trolls. So, like, tens of thousands of years ago, these things were originally trolls who just transformed over time to become these night elves. And then the night elves, who were cast-offs or outcasts from and wanted to use arcane magic, they became the high elves, the Sindarai, or the Quel'Thalas, rather. And then after the scourge, and to give you guys an indication of what I mean by the scourge, I'm just going to give you a quick handout here. My library, here we go. So the main city that stood for 7,000 years is this place called Silvermoon. But here's a high-level view of what the scourge did. Now, on the top there, that's Silvermoon. Okay, and to the north, just right above the peninsula there, that is a place called Sunstrider Isle. You see that blackened path that cuts through there?
Mm-hmm.
That's the path that was carved by an army of undead that marched their way through what's called the Ghostlands, now Eversong Wood, and then through the actual city itself, sacking it, and then making their way over here into that island off the coast to where something called the Sunwell was located. And what had happened over the intervening centuries, or millennia, I should say, since the founding of Silvermoon, is that the elves all connected themselves mystically to this thing called the Sunwell. But because of the scourge went in there and they used it to work this really impressive and powerful necromantic effect, basically left it tainted. So your Prince Quel'Thalas Sunstrider is it had to be destroyed, and with it destroyed, it made it evident that all the blood elves actually they needed to feed on some kind of magic. So what you guys do right now is either drain it from ancient magically infused devices, or you prey on the magical creatures that have grown up in the 7,000 years since the founding of Quel'Thalas. Sorry, my dog's going nuts.
So are the blood elves the same as the high elves?
Yeah, the blood elves are effectively the high elves. If you've seen, so in the World of Warcraft saying, there are some who are just high elves who are kind of leftovers. The scourge killed 90% of the high elf population. So it's it's only 10% that were left over. Some of those decided to not drain magic from things, and they found other ways to sort of deal with their hunger, but it's always there. Some decided to overindulge their hunger, and they became these twisted creatures called wretched that are basically a constant threat in the ruins left behind by the scourge. And then there's you guys who are part of that 10%. It's kind of almost like post-apocalyptic for where you guys are starting. Your allies are no longer in contact. One of the primary defenders that was supposed to protect the kingdom has been raised as a banshee and now rules this kingdom of undead a little further to the south. But they haven't you haven't really had contact with them that much. Where we start our adventures, you guys are just normally childhood, or like a childhood in amongst the blood elves, it lasts for like 60 years. So normally you don't get to the point where you get pushed out the door until you've had a chance to explore and figure out what sort of path you want to pursue, and get to master your magical abilities. But we're starting things off with you guys sort of being pushed out the door. Another thing that I should mention as well is that the Blood Elves in the game are part of this alliance. One of the two alliances that sort of set up the the sort of opposite poles in the game. They're part of the Horde, but this is before they've actually joined the Horde. This is when they are still kind of trying to recover from this apocalypse that hit them and trying to figure out how they're going to survive. So you can picture that every possible trained person, the Outriders, the surviving Rangers, all these people are constantly, for the last 5 years, have been on the border trying to, to keep find the things to keep you guys alive, to prevent more of you falling to the hunger that transforms you into wretched, trying to recover the secrets and sciences like them and the magical lore that was left behind in Silvermoon when you guys had to flee it.
Do you have a picture of what a wretched looks like? Like, what is it, a zombie?
A wretched is kind of like, actually, did I upload it? I downloaded a picture of a wretched. Basically, if you picture like an elf that has been drained of all liquids. So all elves, so they're really desiccated, husks with all their hair is fallen out.
So look like the undead, basically.
Basically,
like
yeah. Yeah, and there's other things because of the damage to the way that this whole place was protected for centuries or for millennia was with these massively powerful rune stones, these huge magical workings that kept everyone out. And several of those were destroyed, and then further damage was done to the sort of defenses when the scourge came in. So there's all sorts of weird magic shit that's happening as well. So some wildlife has been horribly mutated. There's remnants of the scourge that's around. There are these trolls that were defeated by the elves like 6,000 years ago or 7,000 years ago. And they've just been waiting to prey on the remnants. So you've got them coming in to try and prey on you guys now, as well as other kind of magical anomalies like mana wraiths, which are sort of like, imagine if, all the malice that would come from, being murdered, and then having that transformed into some kind of spectral magical apparition. That's what you guys have to look forward to
every horror movie ever.
Yeah, basically, like everything terrible. We're starting at a point where your people are in a horrible fucking state. Like, day-to-day survival for your, millennia old civilization it's a question at this point as to whether you guys are actually going to survive or whether you're going to pass into history. So, so for you guys, what we're going to do, we all know what race you're going to do. And what I've done is I've loaded a bunch of characters into Roll20 that has just the basic stats for the Blood Elves. So their special abilities, the magical abilities they all have, the training and perception that they all have. So what I get you guys to start with first is, I guess we talked a little bit before we went live about the different classes that you can play.
You want a beer or something?
Let's see here. The classes, looking on page 24. So Jordan, if you don't have it open, pop open the Warcraft Heroes Handbook I sent you.
I was having some issues with just opening it.
Oh, okay. You might need to download it if your browser's having difficulty.
Oh, it literally says download.
Oh, there you go.
Download.
So I did mention to Steve and Jeff before we went live that they got Hunter, Mage, Paladin, Priest, Rogue, Warlock, or Warrior. Now, it says Paladin, and the class is called Paladin, but technically you're something called a Blood Knight. They didn't have the Blood Elves didn't have an actual what do you call it, order of paladins beforehand, but in the last year or so there's been developed this order has suddenly come into being and is kind of, the Blood Knights are one of the efforts to try and secure the borders and keep the survivors of the scourge safe. So Jeff and Steve, do you guys have an idea for what class you might want to play?
Yeah, I have 3 choices that I'm happy with, so I'm okay waiting to see what they're going to play. And
okay,
that's what I was going to say too.
You guys are far too accommodating. Then Steve, can I assume 1, 2,
mine's
3,
still
4,
loading, so I should be. You guys pick
7.
first.
Steve, if you really want to live a life dangerously like you usually do, you could always roll a D7 and see what class comes up.
Oh, rock and roll.
I knew I could roll high on you.
Oh,
Nice.
shit.
Yeah, let's see what we
I
got
should
here.
probably get dice, hey?
No, you can actually. There's a digital dice.
Oh yeah, roll D7.
Yeah, it's /roll 1d7. Three, 1, 2, 3. Steve-O, looks like you rolled Blood Knight. So you're playing a Paladin.
Boom, I'm a Paladin.
Nice. Cool. How about Jeff and Jordan? Do either of you guys? Oh, Jordan, first off, did you get a chance to get it open?
It is almost there.
Run, you little horse. Then Jeff, was Blood Knight, was that Paladin one of your choices?
No, not at all. So he
Nice.
hasn't seen it.
Oh God, no.
Nope. So I'll just choose to be a warrior.
A warrior. Okay, so we got two. Well, actually, no. Steve could potentially pick a what do you call it? A holy paladin down the line, and actually be the healer. We got two: a warrior and a paladin. Jordan, how about you?
What page do you have to go to?
Page 24, and look at the pre-cataclysm list there. I think if you're familiar with,
are they just the Hearthstone races?
it's the World.
Yeah.
It's the World. Yeah, I mean it's the same characters from World of Warcraft.
Yes.
I will be a priest then. I will heal these
Priest.
two.
Interesting.
Nice.
Okay, so then, guys, what I'll get you to do is take a look at the characters tab, and Jordan, that's going to be the one that looks kind of like a newspaper.
Newspaper.
It says journal.
Oh yes, newspapers.
So right now,
Okay.
take a look at the picture, knowing what class you're going to be, guys. Go ahead and take a look at the different pictures and see which one sort of would fit best for you.
I'll be right back.
I'm looking for the.
Of course.
I'll look for the hottest one. Oh, this guy looks cocky. Oh, this guy also looks cocky. They all kind of look cocky.
Yeah, the Blood Elves really have a distinctive look, which is pissed off and generally arrogant. I mean, that's part of their culture as well, too, right? Like I think that the trauma of having lost, your 7,000-year-old sanctuary and 90% of your life.
This girl, she looks. How do I show you? It's the
Which one? So maybe
second
describe
from the bottom.
Second from the
Second
bottom.
from the bottom.
The smiley one.
Yeah, the only one that doesn't look angry.
Okay, then give me a sec here. I'm going to edit this so that it'll be editable.
I'm going to be the one happy person.
Boom. Okay. So Jordan, you've got that character. Click on the character sheet.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you what we're going to do next once we
That's
get.
so convenient.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Roll20 is fucking amazing. Okay. So then Steve, and then you're going to turn to page. Let's see here. Jordan, if you want for names, Blood Elf names can be found on page 34.
In that book I just downloaded, that gigantic?
Same PDF. That's going to have the rules for your race and for your classes. Steve, do you have one of those pictures that you think looks like a paladin?
I'm sorry, what are the pictures? What page are the pictures on?
So it's on under the journal, under the characters. There'll be a bunch of different pictures. You won't be able to access the full sheets yet, but
okay.
Do you see that?
Under the journal of the characters. Yeah, there we go. Blood Elf. Let's go with see here.
Whoa, I got my name. Those are some sweet names.
Okay, so why don't you, Jordan, go ahead and put your character's name under character name in the character sheet, and it should populate and have the proper name for your lady.
Okay.
Let's see.
All right. Sorry about that.
Look at that.
Yeah. Yes, George. George knows the in chat. Georgia said, "Tell us who you are and what Jeff is drinking."
Well, what Jeff is pouring on himself. That was terrible.
Oh, jeez.
What a waste of good whiskey.
Wow, fumbled dex check. That's all.
Oh.
So
Okay.
Steve, Zama Phoenix Dreamer. Nice. That's great. Okay, let me reopen that. Okay, so we got one name here now. Steve-O, Did someone stand out for you?
I thought you'd find this interesting, anyways. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes. Let's see here. So I just put name on it to bio info. Oh, I can't. Oh wait, yes I can. Where do I do that?
Which one? Well, I need to give you access to it, Steve. So which?
The top one, I think.
The top one with the black hair.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, Steve, turn to page 34 of the PDF, and then that will give you a list of names
That one.
that you can choose from. So who is that? No, wrong character. Boom. And now, Steve, you should have access to your character sheet, and you can go ahead and rename your character.
All right.
In that, Jeffrey, do you have a one of those?
It'll be the one
Did you bring Resident Evil?
in the middle with the blonde hair and the green eyes.
In the middle with the blonde hair, the guy.
Did you finish Incorruptible?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, sort of
Jordan,
red and gold armor.
Jordan, if you're gonna chat, that's fine. If you're gonna chat in your thing, just make sure to click on mute.
How do I mute myself? I was actually trying to find it.
Yeah, sure. It's
I do it in Hangouts, right?
in the Hangouts. That's right. Yeah. So it's perfect. Okay. So is this the guy you're thinking of here?
Yeah, that one.
That one. Okay, cool. So let me, and then turn to page 34 of the PDF. That'll give you your names. Athaniar Soldermind. Nice. His names are so ridiculous. Okay. Jeffrey, you got yours. I'll ask you to do the exact same thing. Go to your character sheet and rename.
Yeah, I'm just going to the. I was on the warrior page. I'm just going back to the name.
All right.
Page.
So then, Steve, let's see what we can complete. Actually, both Steve and Jordan, if you go to your PDF,
Okay.
so let's. I think what we'll do is, so one of the things you do get to pick as well is a cantrip. You will be able to pick a mage cantrip, and I think maybe we'll do that at the end, because then we can know exactly what your character's abilities are, and you can pick something that really synergizes nicely with that.
Okay.
So for the what I'll ask you guys to do is then turn to your class page, and then we'll go through and fill in the information that we've got from that. So let's see here. Who's up first alphabetically? We've got a priest, we've got a warrior, and we've got a paladin. So I think a Pally is up first. So Steve-O, if you turn to page, page 69. Actually, the rules don't start until page 70. So let's go to Athaniar Soldermind. Millennium Dark Gift. Nice. His names. Oh, my goodness. Okay, so your class. Oh, actually, we're going to have to go to a custom one here. Let's do this. Blood Knight. And let's see here. Your hit dice, Steven, because there is boom D10. Let's see. What else do I need to put in here? Yeah, use custom class here. D10. Spellcasting ability is charisma, I think. Is that right? Saves are wisdom and charisma. I mean, what I'm doing, Steve, I'm setting up in the cog tab there. It has all it's basically, it sets up the, here we go. Nice. Okay. What else do we need to modify here? I don't think there's anything else for now. Spellcasting with charisma, spell slots as a paladin. And okay, so that stuff. Let's take a look at your sheet here. You have 1 hit dice, your total hit points. Okay, here we go. So guys, knowing what your classes are, we need to assign stats. So let me just type this out here. Actually, if someone could type this out as I read it out and then just hit enter in chat, this will tell us so that we can all see what numbers. So someone ready?
How do I enter the numbers?
So you just hit in the chat in the bottom right.
Yeah.
Click on where you were typing to me before.
Okay.
So numbers are 15, 14, 13, 12, 10, and 8. And then he said, perfect. So that's the stats. That's your array you can assign, guys. A Blood Elf gets, one second here, I think it's +2.
You didn't type that in the chat, did you?
Yeah,
Oh, you did.
Yeah.
Jordan did.
Yeah. So Blood Elves get a +2. +2 to dexterity and +1 to intelligence after you do the assign your stats. Okay, so that is the Paladin is ready. So go ahead and set your stats, guys. You just go into the stats on the side there. Right now, they're all set at 10, and just enter those wherever you want. And then once you've assigned them, then add the modifiers for Dex and intelligence.
What do priests, even wisdom? They're like clerics.
That's right. Yeah, priests are basically wisdom or like clerics that don't have access to armor or that aren't proficient in it.
Awesome.
Yeah, no, it's like, how can I make my healer even squishier? I know, take away his armor.
You're like a cleric, but worse.
Well, dude, while you guys are doing that, I'm going to enter the... Oh, I can't do that while you're doing it. But I was going to say I'd enter the class info for you, but I cannot do that because it'll keep switching the tab for you.
Okay, so...
Okay, and just type it done in chat when you guys are finished as well. Trying to drink open.
As far as the ability goes, is
so
the big number
the
the bonus?
The button, yeah, the big number is the bonus. It's the number at the bottom is what you want to enter.
Where do we? Sorry, where did you say we enter the bonus?
So if you look on your character, not the bonus, just the. Okay, so like the bonus, by which I mean the modifier to your dexterity and your intelligence. That's just what you add to whatever you've assigned. So if you've put like 17 to your wisdom, or sorry, if you put say 13 to your dexterity, then your total will be 15.
Oh, why isn't that coming up?
Because I haven't. You have to add that manually.
Oh, okay.
That's the one
So,
thing, yeah.
so just add it manually.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And Dex does the same thing in this edition as it does in like most others. So range attacks and AC. And it also gives a bonus for something called finesse weapons. One of the neat things with the half-elves, the blood elves, is you guys are all proficient with longbows, with war glaives, which are kind of like those crazy, double-bladed hand things that you see in some of the illustrations for World of Warcraft. And you're also proficient with war blades, which are kind of like these weird curved swords.
What about darts?
Dirks?
Darts.
Darts. You are not... no proficiency with darts for...
Damn it.
Yeah. That is more of a, like, middle to low-class British racial proficiency rather than... okay, so Jeff and so Steve, your important attributes will be strength, obviously, and charisma.
Wisdom, no.
Say again. Sorry.
And wisdom, no.
Wisdom is for your spell casting. I think your spell casting is actually from your charisma. Yeah, you can ignore your wisdom. You'd be thick as a plank, just charming. And Jeff, yours is obviously strength and constitution are probably your most important, and maybe dex, depending on what kind of warrior you want to be. Okay, so once you guys are finished, so Jordan, let's talk about your priest. So let me get the basic stuff entered in there so you can start picking some neat stuff.
Okay.
Okay, so let me go into.
Wait, did you say some of our abilities change after we pick them, or?
Yes, you get +2 to your dexterity and +1 to your intelligence. Okay, so let me just go to. So what I'm doing, Jordan, is I'm just because there isn't a hacked class. I'm just going to find the last cog there, and I'm adding all the info for your character there. Spellcast ability is wisdom, spell slots full. Your saves your wisdom and charisma as well. Interesting. What else do I need here? Halfling luck? No. No, no, no. All right. I think we're set there. Oopsies, wrong thing. So go to core. All right. You start with a maximum amount of hit points, which is, and your hit dice is a D6. Oh, hold on. That's not right.
No, it's a D20.
Yeah, it's unfortunately you actually have the same hit points as a magic user in in this version. So you have a whopping 6 hit points.
So I'm discovering very quickly the priest is not strong.
Priest really is a clothy in this. Okay, so I'm looking at for yours, Jordan. You're on page 76. That's when you're going to start being able to make some decisions here.
Yeah,
I got your stuff done. Steve-O has finished. Jeffrey, have you finished with your character?
I'm gonna mute myself.
All right, the stats.
Well, I have my stats and my hit points.
Okay, so let me just quickly get in there and put the custom class stuff in. I got that done for Steve-O and for Jordan. There's firearms rules in this too, which I think are pretty good. They're actually pretty close to my firearms rules that I posted years ago. But I think that this is more a matter of us both stumbling across the exact same conclusion based on the DMG stuff than it is people drawing from my stuff. Okay, so as a warrior, let's see here. You have a D10 hit dice. That's pretty good. You're Millennium Dark Gift, right?
Yeah.
Oh, great. Yeah. Actually, Steve and Jordan, if you guys want to go into the cog and add your character name in front of your name, just your character's first name, that'll help me, remember who's who here. Warrior, a D10 hit dice, spellcasting ability none, strength and constitution saves.
What did you mean? You want me to like put Jordan in front of my character name?
No. If you go into the cog, like you see how my name, my display name has my Twitter handle on it, and Jeff's now says Millennium. You can do the same thing. Just go to the cog, and then if you right at the top there, it says display name. If you just put your character name, then a dash, that'll tell us. Well, I mean, I know who you are, but
and put my character name.
Like, yeah.
How do you want me to write it? Like in brackets or?
Whatever you like. The way Jeff's got it set up is a good one because that way people can see who you are and who the character is too.
Zama.
Okay, let's see here. So I think you're good to go. All right. So then let's take a look at what each of these classes can do, guys. So because it seems as if he is so quickly getting the shaft here, let's take a look at the priest and see what the priest can do. Because he really looks like a strong breeze is going to, be all it takes to take him out. So as a priest, you get to, let's see here, spellcasting, which is always good for.
I hope so.
Yeah. Then you also get to pick a divine priesthood, and what this is just like in the video game, you get to pick one of 3 different specialties. There's discipline, there's holy, and then there is shadow. Now the thing is, shadow has a very specific story connotation to it, so I'm just going to say no to that right away because
I'll be holy.
You'll be holy. Okay, cool. So the holy means like one of the interesting ways they seem to try and present it in this is that the holy are the ones who are clearly connected to the light. And I've always kind of thought that the light was a really lame concept. It's like, you just don't want to make up you don't want to make up a god for it, and you're just trying to give like the generic good thing. But then they put out these books, the Chronicle books. And this is the 3rd volume. There's 3 of them out so far, and basically it's the entire history of the World of Warcraft universe. And the tension between the light and the dark is actually something that goes back to like the founding of the universe. So that seems a little cooler that you're allied with the unknowable godlike force of life and light. So that is kind of cool. If you go to your character there. Let's see here, your character sheet, Zama. Yeah. We go to your spells tab here. Now, you should have on the top right, is there a little eye in a circle?
Top right. An eye in a circle?
Yeah, and if you hover over it, it says compendium.
No, I have the cog.
Right? And then next to that, is there a compendium?
No.
Okay, so I can do this for you then. So what this is in Roll20, for some games, there are these online kind of like databases. And as a holy priest, you always have bless and cure wounds prepared. So you don't need to waste any spell slots or any of your, like the number of spells you can prepare to do that. So I'm just going to drop those into your character sheet here. Boom. And you'll see it's populating automatically in there.
Oh, I see it. 2 cure wounds.
I don't know why there's 2 in there. Hold on, let's get rid of one of these.
Aw.
I mean, you're free to have both of them, but
Could
you
I just
really
tell
only
you,
cast
using
one at a
cure
time. Anyway.
wounds B instead of
Boom.
cure wounds A, which do the exact same thing?
Have you played 5th edition yet, Jordan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
It's
cool. So I don't need
a
to explain.
simplified version of Pathfinder.
It's very well. There's some things that are a little different, and like in particular, the way that you prepare spells. You set up your sort of repertoire of spells. Why did this not load properly? Come on. Oh, it's in there. It's just okay.
What
So
does bless do?
if
Cast
you
at which level?
so here's the thing: if you click on it, Jordan, it'll display in chat.
I need to get an actual mouse. This keypad is freaking terrible.
I imagine so. Okay, so there is that's the 2 spells you get. What else do you get? You get something called Echoes of Light. Whenever you use a spell of 1st level or higher to restore hit points to a creature, the creature regains additional hit points equal to 2 plus the spell's level. So you got some supercharged healing as well as.
Would that do like tons of undead damage?
It doesn't say that it does like divine power the way it does in Pathfinder. So I don't think I wouldn't rule it that way. Let's see here. What you get in addition. So Channel Divinity. Channel Divinity is the equivalent of Undead. You've got an ability. Oh, it's only at 2nd level you get that. So let's hear. Priest spells. Each priesthood has a list of spells that you gain at the priest levels noted in the priesthood description. Once you gain a priesthood spell, you always have it. Okay, so that makes sense. You get 3 cantrips. This is in addition to your arcane cantrip you're going to get from being a blood elf. And so the cool thing with the priests is that just like in regular 5e, you get to prepare a different like selection of spells each time. So what I'm going to get you to do is if you go to, let's see here, what page is it on? The list of priest spells it's near the back of the book here. Priest spells are starting on page 132. If you take a look at there, pick 3 cantrips, and then pick 2 spells you want to have prepared, 2 first-level spells that you want to have prepared.
Okay.
Or not 2, hold on. So the number you get to prepare is equal to your level plus your wisdom modifier. What's your wisdom modifier?
Wisdom modifier is 15, whatever the highest was.
It's plus 2. Okay. Plus 2, is that right? Yeah, 14. Plus 1 is 12, plus 2 is 14. Yeah, okay. So you plus 2 with your wisdom. So that means you get to pick 3 first-level spells to have prepared in addition to what's there. So pick 3 cantrips and 3 spells. Just put them in chat, and then I'll drag and drop them in there.
So it's 3 cantrips and 3 level 1s?
Yeah. And then and then actually, if you want to jump ahead as well too, Jordan, because I'll be farting around with the other guys, take a look at the cantrips under mage spells.
Yeah.
And you can pick one of those. That becomes your blood mage one.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going to mute myself while I'm doing this.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Jeff and Steve-O, who wants to go next?
Doesn't matter to me.
Okay, so let's take a look at Steve's got a quizzical look on his face, so why don't we start with Steve-O? Hold on, let me make sure I got everything for the priest. That is everything the priest gets. Oh, you know what? The other thing, shoot. Jordan, you also will want to look on page 76 and pick 2 of the skills from that list there. So, yeah, you're muted. Jordan, give me a thumbs up if you heard me. No. Did you mute me as well? That's usually a safe bet.
I was just not listening. I was sorry. What did you say?
You can also go to page 76 of the PDF and select 2 skills as well, and then we'll do your backgrounds afterwards, guys.
Okay.
Okay. So then, Steve-O, paladins. So as a paladin, you get so the 2 abilities you get are Divine Sense and Lay on Hands. You are proficient with all weapons and all armor. You are trained with simple and martial weapons. So let's first start with, let's see here. Divine Sense is, as an action, you can open your awareness to detect basically celestial, fiend, or undead things. So angels, demons, devils, and the undead. You can spend your action doing that, and anything within 60 feet that's not totally behind a wall or something like that, you'll be able to detect them. You can use that 1 plus your charisma modifier per day. Okay, and then you also have Lay on Hands. With this, you can restore a number of total hit points equal to your paladin level times 5. So you can heal 5 hit points basically with a touch right now. And you could also spend 5 hit points to cure 1 disease or neutralize 1 poison. So in addition to the other, that's another option you could do. So you can restore, as an action, you can touch a creature, or and I think you can use that on yourself as well. So those are the 2 powers. Steve, you're going to want to look at page 70, and pick one of the skills. 2 of the skills that are listed there, and you'll gain proficiency with those. Do you see what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
Perfect. So that's what you. Okay, so that's what you get, and then Jeffrey, where is the warrior? Did you have a chance to take a look at what the warrior gets to do at first level?
Yeah, I looked at it a bit.
Oh, and what is?
So you get +2 proficiency bonus.
Yep.
You choose a fighting style, and you get second wind.
Nice. Additional 1.
So it's actually a barbarian, kind of, because they have rage. They're kind of like a mix between a barbarian and a fighter.
Yeah, so the way fighters work in the this is an adaptation of the way they work in the video game. And the way they work in the video game is that you sort of manage this resource called rage. You build up rage by doing certain kinds of attacks, and then you spend rage to do other kind of attacks. So what they've done is they've kind of built it similar to the way a barbarian works in 5th edition, and then also giving you some of the stuff that you do as a as a fighter. So you get, let's see here, your 2 abilities are that fighting style and second wind. So I guess one of the things you might want to talk about as a group is whether Jeff, whether Melanian is going to be destined to be a tank or a DPS character. Like, do you think he's going to be the guy who's keeping everyone else safe, or is he going to be the guy who's hitting people? And Steve, are you going to be the one who keeps people safe, who heals, or who does lots of damage? Because that's at level 3. That's where you guys transition into your sort of specializations.
Okay.
Because that won't affect you right now, Steve, in terms of what you got to pick. But for you, Jeff, that will affect likely your fighting style you want to pick. So knowing you've known these characters for precisely about half an hour now. With your vast experience with these characters, what are you thinking? Is Athaniar more of a bashing people with a big 2-handed sword thing, or is he more of a protector, or is he more of a devout paladin? Is Melanian more of a whacking people with 1 big weapon? Is he a guy who's carrying 2 weapons around? Is he a guy who wears swords and boards it? What are you thinking?
That's a tough choice. I think I'm going to go with a sword and a shield type.
Sword and shield. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So then does that help you make your decision for your fighting style?
Yes, I think I'm going to take dueling.
Dueling, nice.
That's how it works. If you're holding a melee weapon in one hand and no other weapons. Which does a shield count as a weapon?
Let's take a look at the player's handbook.
Or because I mean, otherwise I'm not sure. Because then I wouldn't do that if that's.
Yeah, I don't think that's. I should say I really don't know. Let's take a look.
Whether this is intended for someone who has a shield or for someone with an empty hand.
Yeah, whether it's a sword board. Because I think that there's two other ones that would be more the sword and board type, like the protection or defensive ones. Because defense, when you're wearing armor, you get +1 AC. Or protection, when you see another attack, when a creature you see attacks someone other than you who's within 5 feet, you can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the roll. So let's take a look at...
Right, but if you already have a shield and armor, I don't know if I really need defense as well.
So one of the things that doesn't... that's where 5th edition differs from other versions of the game is that your defenses don't... Like, your defensive numbers, your bonuses to hit don't really scale up, exponentially, or like on a regular way, the way they do in like Pathfinder. So like a +1 to AC does remain a pretty useful and substantial bonus at all levels. Let's see here. Because I mean, even like I think dragons only have an AC of like 20. Just to give comparisons. Okay, so a shield is, where is it here? The fuck is it? Come on. Come on, shield. Where are you? Shield is listed under armor, so I think I would say that. Yes, that would apply. So melee
cool.
One hand and no other weapons. Shield doesn't count as a weapon. Wait, does the shield list? Is it listed another weapon for how much damage it does? So here's what I think that I will interpret that as, Jeffrey, because I think you can bash people with a shield. But the reason that they, or rather, so the way that dual wielding works in 5th edition, absent any other kind of like feat or class ability, is that you can use a bonus action. Because remember, you get a move, a standard action, and a bonus action. You can use a bonus action to attack with your offhand weapon, and you don't get to add your attribute modifier to the damage. So what I would say is that if you use your shield as an attack to like bash somebody, you just don't get your dueling bonus. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Does it or not?
When you're done, I have some questions about spells.
Of course, yeah. So what?
Okay.
So I think that's the way, that's the balancing thing, is that if you're happening to use your shield as a weapon, like the reason that they don't want you carrying two things is because if in this, it's really easy to dual wield in 5th edition. You can carry two weapons, and then like Steve's character from that first campaign we played, he had that guy with 2 axes, and every round you got a bonus action, and he could always use it to attack people.
Right.
So if you're using your shield to bash people, then you don't. Yeah, then you're effectively, you've got a weapon in that offhand. What I'm saying is that yes, I'm fine with this. So when you're attacking with just the one weapon, that's when you get your dueling bonus. If you attack with both, then you lose your dueling bonus.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, but okay. So dueling. All right, and then you also get your second wind. On your turn, you can use bonus action to regain hit points equal to 1d10 plus your warrior level, so 1d10 plus 1. And then when you use it, you need to complete a short or long rest before you can use it again. Remember, short rests are an hour in this. Why did I cast an abjuration here? That's weird. I cast a spell in chat. Okay, so then you also get to pick, Jeff, 2 of your skills from the ones listed on page 97. And then once you've selected your skills, just tick the box.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, did you already? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Jordan, you had questions.
I can't find some of the spells. I just want to know what Toll the Dead means.
Which Toll of the Dead?
Yeah, Toll the Dead. It's a cantrip for
cantrip. Okay, let's see here. It's probably from one of the expansion books. came out here. Toll the Dead.
It just sounds cool. I don't know what it does.
Yeah. Let's take a look here. Boom. Toll the Dead. Let's see. What page are the spells on? Is it 140? 40, no, a little earlier, 130 something. Okay, if it has a little square next to it, then it is it's later in the book. It's not there for that. Toll the Dead. Okay, so I wonder if it's in, where is it? Xanthar's Guide to Everything. Let's see here. Probably. Toll the Dead. You point at one creature you can see within range, and the sound of a dolorous bell fills the air around it for a moment. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d8 necrotic damage. If the target is missing any of its hit points, it instead takes 1d12 necrotic.
Yeah, I'm tolling some.
You're tolling some dead? Nice.
And I don't know what Spare the Dying is, but I'm taking it.
Spare the Dying is, I think, in... Yeah, here we go. This is...
Kev, did you say we had some starting equipment because we were Blood Elves?
Not starting equipment. You guys...
that was just starting training.
Yeah, whatever's for your character sheet, or whatever's for your specific class. We'll just assume you're going to get the starting package. You can pick whatever, like the weapon and whatever in there. And we're going to also do your background. You're going to get some gear from that. And
I wrote my spell in the chat. Was that what I was supposed to do?
Yes, please. Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. Oh, awesome. Okay, great. So what you can also, so Steve and Jeff, you guys can also turn to page, because you don't have to pick any spells, 131, and you guys each get one mage cantrip because of your blood elf nature.
I took Mage Hand, if that helps you decide.
Cool. Okay, now let me add that in for you, Jordan. I think I can...
Sorry, what page was that on?
Sorry, that is on page 131.
131.
Okay, so Mage Hand's in your cantrips. What else do you have? Toll the Dead, Mend, Spare the Dying. Spare the Dying, okay. Mend. Mending. Boom. Spare the Dying. Actually, they just released the thing for Xanthar, so maybe I should pick that up tonight before I go to bed.
So which classes cantrip do I pick?
From Mage. You get to pick one cantrip. This is because you're just, you've spent your life suffused in magic. You get to pick one ability. And I'm sorry, Jordan, what were let's see here. We got here. Angelic Feathers, Healing Word, and Detect Magic. Well, you've already got Detect Magic. Sorry, because you are a... Okay, actually, here's the thing. So as a Blood Elf, you can cast either Magic Weapon or Detect Magic once per day. It doesn't count as your spell list, but it's one of your special abilities.
Okay, I'll just take something different.
So if you only need to cast it once per day, here's the downside to that, though, is that you can't cast that one as a ritual. Whereas, like, if you have it as one of your prepared spells, you can take 10 minutes and then just cast it as a ritual and not use up a spell slot.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
But if I use it as my natural ability, do I lose a spell slot?
It does not. No. If you use it, just means you can't use Magic Weapon. Then you're one of your Blood Elf abilities, and this is for all of you guys, is once a day you can cast either Detect Magic or Magic Weapon. So here, Angelic Feathers. Yep. Is that an actual spell in here? Let's see here.
Yeah, it's in it. Yeah, I give feathers to people that they can crush for abilities.
Oh, nice. Let's see. Oh, sorry. I was wondering if it was in the compendium or not. It isn't. So
if you scroll down, it's in this Warcraft book.
Oh, sorry. I'm looking in the compendium because then I can drag and drop it.
Oh, right.
But if it's in, no, I'll add it from that. That and Toll the Dead, I need to actually add. And then what was the last one? A Healing Word, Detect Magic. Okay, those I know are for sure in here. So healing word.
Arms of Hadar. Let's find out what that does.
I'm sure something good.
Who is Hadar?
Hadar is well, it's the Hunger of Hadar is a ability from 4th edition that's become a spell in 5th, and it creates this like area that pulls people in and does damage to them. Steve is really familiar with that. Okay, so I got.
So like where are the rest of the spells described? Some of the spells are described in the book.
Oh,
the rest are not.
Yeah, the rest of the spells are in the player's handbook.
Okay.
So like Blade War. I mean, most of them are. Some of them might not be. Some of them might come from the Xantheros guide. But if you find something you can't find in the player's handbook, I can tell you what it does.
Okay, I'm gonna choose create bonfire.
Create bonfire. Interesting. Okay, and I don't. Oh, is it in here? Let's see here.
Mm-mm.
It's not, of course.
It's not in there. I'm not 100% sure what it does, but I can guess.
Yeah. It's a good design decision to make the spell actually clear what it does. Okay, so I need to add Toll the Dead. I need to add Angelic Feathers. And okay. Now. Do you have your spells down? Okay, so then the next thing we need to do, guys, is your background. Because this is the third part of making a character in World of Warcraft. Now, there are a couple new backgrounds that are in the Warcraft Heroes Handbook, but I don't think any of them would be appropriate for this. Like, there's Double Agent, there's a Faction Fostered, where you're raised by a different faction. So you're a Tauren raised by the Alliance. There's Kirin Tor Apprentice, but nobody's a mage, so that doesn't really make sense. There's Tribal Member, but you guys are all Blood Elves, and you're not really from a tribe. So that means we're going to default to the ones in... let's see here. You got George cheering for you in chat there, Jeff. Go Team Jeff. Okay, so let's see here. Then, so the backgrounds that you guys can choose, and this is sort of the narrative kind of backstory for your characters. You can choose from, where is it here? Acolyte, which means you're part of a religious order. Charlatan, criminal, entertainer, folk hero, guild artisan, hermit, that's probably not an appropriate one, noble, outlander, probably
Noble.
doesn't... What's that? Who's claiming noble? Yeah, nice, okay. Sage, sailor, soldier, or urchin.
Like a sea urchin?
Yeah, exactly. You're an anemone. Do Jeff or Steve, do either any of those stand out for your guys?
Where are these from? Oh, these aren't in this book.
No, this is in the player's handbook.
Oh, okay.
So acolyte, charlatan, criminal, entertainer, folk hero, guild artisan, noble, outlander,
I'm
sage.
thinking noble, wherever put it. I don't know what it does, but let's do it.
Sure. So I think there should be an area there for your background.
On the core?
On the core, yeah. Sailor, soldier, or urchin.
Where is this?
And one of the things that I'm picturing, like, this is sort of your life pre-Scourge. This is what your life was like before things were. So, like, just because you're a paladin now, Steve-O, remember that the Paladin Order, the Blood Knights, were only really founded a year ago. So you could have had a totally different life beforehand. You could have been a soldier who became that, or you could have been a priest who became a soldier, which is sort of a natural progression. But equally, you could have been a scrimshander, or you could have been a clothier. You could have been someone who was working in a completely innocuous way. But now that your whole, 90% of the people in your city are dead and raised as undead, that maybe that's what drove you to the, to the priesthood, to become a paladin. Similarly for Melanian too, like maybe you were, if you were a soldier, you could have fought in, and been one of the rare ones who survived, in the war against the scourge.
No, I think I'm going to be a criminal.
Criminal. Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Typical warriors.
Yeah.
And then what about Atheniar? What do you think there, Steve-O?
I think acolyte.
Acolyte. Cool.
Yeah.
So he was an actual member of the priesthood who kind of stepped out and became. That's interesting. And then
didn't become the priest.
Nice.
Right.
Okay. So then
I can't find this background.
You can find the background on the PDF. I don't know. The page of the book is page 127 of the player's handbook.
On the character sheet, sorry.
Oh, on the character sheet. Let's see here. Well, there's going to be a couple different things you're going to get. You're going to get some proficiencies, and you're going to get. Okay, so it might be under bio. Character appearance, character backstory. No, that's not what we want. Where do you put it? Class resource, flaws. Okay. I don't know where you put background on here. That's interesting. Bio, maybe? Well, we know that you are a noble, right?
Yeah.
Old Zama. So then let's start with you. What we're going to do is we're going to randomly generate some elements of your backstory, because I love me some random generation. Would you kindly, Jordan, to roll, you got two options for rolling. You can either, on the left there's a little dice looking thing.
See the dice looking thing?
Yeah. So you click on that, and if you kindly give me a D8 roll, please.
Do I just click on D8?
Yep. There you go. So 1. So this is a personality trait. My eloquent flattery makes everyone I talk to feel like the most wonderful and important person in the world.
Flirt.
Would you kind of give me a D6 roll, please? D6. Responsibility. Okay, so this is your ideal. It is my duty to respect the authority of those above me, just as those below me must respect mine.
No one's above me. I'm a noble.
So one of the things that's worth emphasizing too is that because this is a civilization that's 7,000 years old and really hasn't changed all that much, it is an extremely lawful civilization. Within the scope of that, you have the lawful good, lawful neutral, lawful evil, but everyone sort of knows their place and whatnot. And this event has really, like the Scourge, has completely shaken up all that shit, which is why some of you guys are suddenly finding yourself in a much more important position. Jordan, kind of give me another D6 roll for your bond. 5. Your loyalty to your sovereign is unwavering. So as a member of the nobility, you maybe actually had at least passing connection with Quel'Thalas Sunstrider. And Quel'Thalas, as far as I guess you're concerned, is completely worthy of your loyalty. There's a reason that the person who rules... sorry, what was that?
He's the leader, right?
He's the leader. That's right. Yeah. And it's interesting because he calls himself Prince because he decided that the Blood Elves only named themselves Blood Elves after the Scourge. They were High Elves before that. And when his father, the king, died during the invasion, he decided that there was no longer going to be any kings of High Elves, and that's why he calls himself the Prince. And finally, your flaw. Give me 1d6 roll, please.
None. Non-existent.
5. In fact, the world does revolve around me.
Perfect.
So it's just, I guess, to fit with your personality, you're likable enough because you're charming, but you really are secretly incredibly arrogant. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So then if you look at Jordan, you're going to get the choice of, let's see here. You gain the skill proficiency in history and persuasion.
Oh, I don't I get a choice? I pick 2. I get all of them.
I think I can't remember. I thought you got.
It said pick 2.
Let's see here. Under background. It's been so long since I've run this.
I picked medicine and
no, automatically you get both of them. So then your choices are the ones from your class. If you get one from your background that you already got from your class, just go back to your class and pick another one.
Okay, what should I get from my background? Sorry.
History and persuasion.
Sweet. History's kind of vague. So all history?
Basically, you've read an awful lot. Yeah.
Okay, I know all
Okay.
history.
Which makes sense for your yeah. And then what your feature is, thanks to your noble birth, people are inclined to think the best of you. You're welcome in high society, and people assume you have the right to be wherever you are. The common folk make every effort to accommodate you and avoid your displeasure, and other people of high birth treat you as a member of the same social sphere.
That makes sense. That's just life. That's just my life.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's neat too with the idea that you're down in the dirt with these other commoners too, because people are still going to be treating you differently, even though you're sort of, you know, your society is completely behind you now. Jeff, you picked sorry, which background? Criminal, right. All right, you criminal. So first thing you get is skill proficiencies in deception and stealth.
Beautiful.
Yeah. You also have a tool proficiency in one type of gaming set and thieves tools. So you're proficient in thieves tools as well. And the proficiencies are on the bottom.
Do I have thief skills?
You've got some thief skills. Yes, you're proficient in them. So it means you get to add your proficiency bonus to your dice rolls.
Under tool proficiencies.
Yeah, if you just add thieves tools as a new one.
Oops.
Okay, and then let's see what your criminal speciality was before. Give me a D8 roll, please.
D8, here we go. What did he do?
Boom,
Number
4. Offense. Nice. So you sold shit.
Nice.
You bought stolen goods and sold them for people.
Yeah, or I found buyers.
Yeah.
For stolen shit. Nice.
Okay, and then let's check your characteristics here. Give me a D8 roll.
Roll D8.
Mm-hmm. 7. The best way to get me to do something is to tell me I can't do it. He's a contrarian. That's great. So that is under your personality trait. Let's check your ideal.
What do they call that?
That is called under your character sheet on the top right. There's actually an area for your personality trait.
Yeah, and what did they call the personality trait?
There isn't. It isn't actual. It doesn't have a name. It's just a sentence. The best way to get me to do something is to tell me I can't do it.
Right. Okay. That's
okay. Give me a D6 for your ideal.
Oh yeah, D6.
It's gonna be a potentially complicated character.
Oops.
A 4. Greed. I will do whatever it takes to become wealthy. That's interesting. Oh man, you're effectively Han Solo.
Wait, I just heard that. You better not be robbing no nobles.
Next up is your bond. Give me another D6 roll. A 6. Someone I loved died because of a mistake I made. That will never happen again. I mean, the obvious source of that is the scourge. Is there something that you fucked up during the scourge that caused someone to get killed?
Yeah, my brother.
Oh, okay, cool.
My brother was the burglar, and I was the fence.
Yeah, cool.
And maybe he tried to steal something, right when he shouldn't have. And
yeah.
Or I told him about because it's supposed to be my fault, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I gave him bad information.
Okay, cool. Then your flaw. Give me a D6 roll. A 5. I turn tail and run when things look bad. Maybe that's what you did.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
He didn't
your
stay
nerve
in help.
broke.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool. So maybe your nerve broke at one point and it cost your brother his life, and you're fearful that might actually happen again.
Maybe.
Huh. Okay. And then what your feature does, Jeff, is you have a reliable and trustworthy contact who acts as your liaison to a network of other criminals. You know how to get messages to and from your contact, even over great distances. Specifically, you know the local messengers, corrupt caravan masters, and seedy sailors who can deliver messages for you. So I think in this context, what that likely means is all the sort of ne'er-do-wells in Silvermoon and in Quel'Thalas in general, you sort of know all the survivors amongst that, even though there still is, at this point, maybe they're sort of trying to build up their network again. but you at least know who they are.
Okay.
Okay, so you can draw on that. Cool. And then Steve O. An acolyte. So what you get, Steve, you are also proficient in insight and religion.
Okay. Yeah.
Did you select those already, or?
I selected medicine and religion, but okay.
Okay, so then you get to pick one more. Click on insight and also pick one more from your class.
All right. I thought medicine and religion were the ones from my class. Skills?
Say again, sorry?
I thought medicine and religion were the ones that I picked from my class.
Oh, they could be, but the you have options to pick in your class. The ones you get from your background are set. So what I'm going to assume is that you got one more from your class you can pick now because you get religion with your background.
Okay.
Okay. You're also going to speak 2 of the languages. Let's see here. So you also get, Steve, your feature is Shelter of the Faithful. As an acolyte, you command the respect of those who share your faith. So those who also have faith in the light. You can perform the religious ceremonies of your god. You and your adventuring companions can expect to receive free healing and care at a temple, shrine, or other established presence of your faith, though you must provide any material components needed for spells. Those who share your religion will support you, but only you, at a modest lifestyle. You might also have ties to a specific temple dedicated to your chosen deity or pantheon, and you have a residence there. So you basically, like, I guess where you're staying is in kind of like religious barracks, or what's sort of serving as them now in the ruins of Silvermoon. While near your temple, you can call upon the priest for assistance, provided the assistance you ask for is not hazardous and you remain in good standing with your temple. We can even apply that to being kind of part of the Blood Knights as well, too. Because that's technically a religious order. It's a military religious order.
Not going to be a priest for them. I mean, they would have their own priests, right?
Yep, totally. Okay, so let's check your personality trait. Give me a D8 roll, please. Boom. A 3. You see omens in every event and action. The light tries to speak to us. We just need to listen.
Very nice.
So that is a personality trait. Now, would you kindly give me a D6 roll for your ideal? So you can put that in your personality traits. It's on the top right of your character sheet. The core. Yep. I'm sorry, say again, Steve?
It's called acolyte?
What's an acolyte?
Sorry, what was my personality trait?
Personality trait, it was, where is it here? You see omens in every event and action. The light tries to speak to us. We just need to listen.
Oh, okay.
So you've actually you've heard the call of the light, I guess, at some point.
Right.
So you actually had, before you became part of the Blood Knights, you actually felt this connection to it. And then the fucking scourge happened 5 years ago. And then a year ago, there was the opportunity to join the Blood Knights. And now we find you, armored and whatever. Okay, so then, Steve, would you kind of give me a D6 roll? This will be your ideal. Ooh. D6, a 1. Tradition. The ancient traditions of worship and sacrifice must be preserved and upheld. So that's an interesting connection to sort of like life for a race that's so steeped in like conservative, traditions and kind of like, carrying on the patterns of the past. That does make sense. Right. Give me another D6 roll, please. This will be your bond. Your bond. I owe my life to the priest who took me in when my parents died. That's interesting. So there's some priest who took you on. Do you think, Steve, he or she survived the scourge? If you want to roll randomly, roll a d10. If you roll a 1, they survived. Otherwise, they're dead.
Okay. I'm going to go with dead. Let's roll a d10. I love rolling.
Okay.
It's a 1!
A 1! They survived! Oh, man. Okay, cool. So the person, so maybe you and this person who took you in, you actually survived the scourge. That's interesting.
There you go.
So that character is going to be kicking around, I guess. I got to write that down. So do you think that person, your bond, do you think they encouraged you to become part of the Blood Knights? Do you think they discouraged you from becoming part of the Blood Knights? Or do you think they had no opinion one way or the other?
I think I became a part of the Blood Knights in part to earn their respect, but they would have respected me all the same.
Okay, cool. So it's not, you don't know, it sounds like you don't know how they feel about it. You just thought that would gain their respect.
Exactly.
Okay, interesting. So the last thing is your flaw. Give me a D6 roll, please. A 1. You judge others harshly and yourself even more severely. I see some very interesting role-playing in the future between Melanian and Thaniar. Okay, so let's see here. There is some more gear that you gain, you each gain from your backgrounds. Let's see here. What do we got? What do we got? And then you also get your gear from your professions or your classes as well. So if you look at on the page with your classes, guys, that gives you the list of gear you get.
Wait, from our class.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I already.
You get to make some decisions as to what you start with. So
yeah.
Let's see here. Where are we here? So you guys are all near the back of the alphabet. All right. So Paladin. Man, you get spells to 2nd level. That's not bad.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, Steve, I'm looking on page 71 of the sheet. You get to pick a great sword or any other martial weapon. You get a priest pack or an explorer's pack, and then you also get chainmail, a shield, and a holy symbol.
I'm going to take a priest pack, so.
You're taking a priest pack for you? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, then I'll take an explorer's pack, I guess.
Okay.
Chainmail, shield, holy symbol, and a great sword or any martial weapon.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to think what what you see your character using at higher levels. Do you see him going towards the more protective route, using a shield? Do you see him going towards using a big fuck off weapon? Do you see him becoming a more focused on healing?
Fuck off weapon. Fuck off weapon.
Well, the crowd seems to want to take fuck off weapon.
Nice. So you may want to take the great sword then.
All right.
Okay. So, yeah, so go ahead and record that in your gear, and then I'll add the stats for that in a moment. Jordan, did you pick your gear?
Quarterstaff, priest pack, and my holy symbol.
Okay.
I get 2 daggers too, it says.
Hot damn. That will be making all the difference, I'm sure.
Yeah.
When it comes down to Zama's 2 daggers turning the tide,
it's going to happen.
Yep, we'll remember this conversation. Okay, so then for the warrior, Jeff, what are you taking?
Hey, so I took the chainmail.
Nice.
A martial weapon and a shield. So I have to choose a one-handed martial weapon, and then I get 2 hand axes.
Holy shit.
And I got a explorer's pack or a dungeoneering pack, and I don't know which ones. I don't even know what's in them.
Okay, so those are in the player's handbook. Let's see here. Here we go.
Yeah,
Dungeoneer's pack includes backpack, crowbar, hammer, 10 pythons, 10 torches, a tinderbox, 10 days of rations, and a water skin, and 50 feet of rope. As opposed to the explorer's pack, which has bedroll, a mess kit, a tinderbox, 10 torches, 10 days of rations, and a water skin, and 50 feet of rope. The explorer's pack is probably You guys aren't going to be going dungeon delving necessarily anytime soon.
Yeah. So the exploring one's better.
Yeah, probably the Explorer's Pack is a better fit.
What's in the priest one?
And the priest one has a backpack, blanket, 10 candles, a tinderbox, an alms box, so you can beg, basically. 2 blocks of incense, a censer, vestments, 2 days of rations, and a water skin. That's interesting. You get like 8 days less, or like a week's less rations than what everyone else does.
We don't need to eat.
I can survive on faith. And Steve, which one did you take?
I guess I took the Explorer's Pack.
Explorer's Pack as well? Okay, cool. All right, so let's I think we got everyone's stats are all done. Everyone's skills are in. So armor, let's see here. I don't think Jordan, you're not wearing any armor, right? No. Okay, so you're just in robes. So then your AC is whatever is listed there. For those of you who are wearing chain, I think both Melanian and Athaniar, you guys both have chain, right?
Yep.
So your AC is actually a 16 then. And you have, because of that, you have disadvantage on stealth.
Because of chainmail.
Because of chainmail, yeah, because it's noisy.
Oh, then maybe I should use a. Maybe I should have a tower shield then. I was considering
what's your dexterity?
My dexterity is 15.
It's 15. So you got +2 to your dex. If you wore studded leather, you would have a net of 14 with no modifiers. Actually, if you wore a chain shirt instead of chain mail.
Right. I would just took what they listed.
Oh, yeah, right. So leather armor. Leather armor is 11 plus dex modifier. So it'd be a no total of 13, but you wouldn't take penalty to your stealth.
I think I'm just going to not worry about the stealth, and that's what I'm saying. Like, because the shield tower, the problem is it gives you disadvantage on stealth, but if I already have that from my chainmail, then it wouldn't matter to use a big shield.
The tower shield? Where are you seeing the tower shield? Is it in...
Oh, I don't know. The only thing I have is the Warcraft book.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. So that's because they introduced a couple new things in there.
The requirement is a strength of 15, and it gives you disadvantage on your stealth check. But if my chainmail already does that, well, then the penalty doesn't really matter.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it says I get to use my strength modifier instead of my dexterity for my armor class bonus, which they're the same anyway, so that doesn't do anything. But
yeah. That's cool. Okay, I need to go to the washroom quickly, guys. I'll be right back, and then I'll... there's actually some neat rules that we get. Jeff, you can pick... So your martial weapon... let's see here.
Yeah, what are my choices?
Well, it's so in the player's handbook, it's on page 149. One-handed things, if that's just what you want to restrict yourself to, are things like battle axe, flail... lance, Morningstar, rapier, scimitar, short sword, warhammer, whip. But if you take a look at the glaive, let's see here. I think that because you're proficient with that stuff as well. So the racial weapons. Let's see here. Cinderai Warblade does 1d8 slashing. And immediately after attacking an enemy with a blade, you may make an additional attack with its second blade using your bonus action. So that's pretty fucking cool. So you could like hit, and then if you've got your bonus action to spare, you could then use that to make a second attack. Or you could use the Warglaive, which is that... what do you call it? That curved thing. The advantage with that one is it's light, which means you can add your dex bonus to damage instead of your strength. But I think you said they're the same, right?
Yeah, they're the same.
Okay. So yeah, whatever stuff makes kind of, whatever you think looks cool on your, your visual of your character, that's fine. I'll be right back, guys.
The heck?
All right, sorry about that, guys. Okay,
Sorry, I was just downloading the PDF. What page was the weapons on?
Martial weapons are on page 149. Steve, you went with a great sword, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there are some very cool rules from the Midgard Hero's Handbook that introduce some ideas, basically some maneuvers you can do when you're using certain weapons. So you remember how in Conan 2D20 you could get like different weapons would have different kind of traits that you could activate?
Right.
It's something like that. So you don't need to take a feat or anything like that. Just because you're using a great sword, you've got 2 different maneuvers you can do with it in addition. And I'll update your character sheet between now and when we actually play. The 2 things are arcing slash, which is when you attack with a greatsword, you may choose to target 2 creatures within reach with a single attack. The attack uses the same attack roll for both targets, and it deals slashing damage equal to 1d6 plus your strength modifier to each target. So it doesn't do as much damage as you do with just 1 hit, but you're spreading that damage out across multiple targets.
Right.
Okay, so that's one maneuver. And the second one is grinding halt. Whenever you must make a strength saving throw to avoid being moved against your will, you can dig the blade of your greatsword into the ground as a reaction. Roll 2d6 and add the number rolled to the saving throw. If the effect pushing you does not have a saving throw, you move 5 feet fewer. So like if someone does a bull rush or hits you with a thunder wave or something like that, you can, as a reaction, you can just stop yourself from being pushed back.
Cool.
Yeah, it's kind of clever because I think the greatsword does 2d6 damage, doesn't it? Greatsword, yeah, it does 2d6. That's neat. So it's actually making use of the same dice as well. You're just applying them to doing different things.
Cool.
So, okay, cool. And then, let's see, the quarterstaff. Oh, cool. So, Jordan, you can use your quarterstaff to help you leap long distances. You can use an action to double the length of your long jump, allowing you to leap a number of feet equal to twice your strength score.
I'm so weak though.
What's is that your dump stat?
Yeah.
Well, at least now you can jump 16 feet as opposed to 8.
Yeah.
So there's that. If you land adjacent to a creature at the end of the jump, you can make a single attack with your quarterstaff as part of the action.
Oh, goody.
Yeah, you're probably not going to be wanting to jump into melee anytime.
Daggers.
I guess, yeah, that's going to be a very situational bonus, but still kind of cool. Okay, quarterstaff. Actually, that's neat. Quarterstaff can be used one-handed for 1d6 damage or two-handed for 1d8. Jeff, did you pick a weapon for yourself?
Yes. The Warhammer I have selected.
The Warhammer. Okay, cool. So yeah, it has 2 maneuvers as well. One is bruising blow. As an action, make a single attack roll with your Warhammer against a living creature. If the attack hits, it deals normal weapon damage, and the target must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failure, the target does not add its Dex modifier to its AC until the end of your next turn, or until it's treated with a successful DC 10 Wisdom Medicine check. That's, you brain them, I guess.
Yeah.
And the next one is Sundering Strike. As an attack, make an attack roll with your Warhammer against a creature wielding a weapon, including natural weapons. If the attack hits, the weapon is damaged, and all attacks made with this weapon have disadvantage. Another Sundering Strike destroys the weapon. This attack has no effect on magical weapons unless your Warhammer is also magical.
Okay. So I can break their weapons.
Yeah. It's even better than disarming. And then you carried 2 hand axes as well, right? This is cool. Yes. When you make a melee or ranged weapon attack with a hand axe, you may attempt to pin a large or smaller creature to a wall or surface by catching their clothes with the axe's edge. This maneuver can be used against creatures without clothing at the DM's discretion. Make an attack roll. If the attack hits, the target must make a strength saving throw. On a failure, the target's speed is reduced to 0 until the axe is removed.
Wait, without clothing? So
Without
specifically nude.
Nude, or if well, I think it's like animals and stuff like that.
Oh, so a shirt can't do it.
Shirt, you can do it, yeah, but if it's a dog, you probably can't. The target can make another strength saving throw as an action on its turn. So that's kind of neat. Again, it's situational, but let's see here. Actually, Jordan, you can do the same thing with your dagger. And then what? Do you have any other weapons there, Jeff?
No, just the 2.
Just the 2. Okay. All right, then I believe we've. So that's the neat other stuff you can do. So we got your gear picked. Is your gear listed on your character sheet, guys? And between now and next session, I can add all the stats and give you guys attacks for each of your things. Jordan, I'll add your spells in there as well. Oh, cool. Your cure wounds is in there. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I can add, let's see here. Global attack modifier. No. Is there a way of adding to healing? I wonder.
What was that ability called on the hand axe, Kev? Pinning?
Pinning, yeah. I'll include that on your character sheet as well, too. That's neat. I mean, I think they're like, it's a lot of those are situational, but just it's a cool way of giving clear mechanical benefits to what would otherwise be an improvised action. And that sometimes is enough to kind of prompt you to like, oh yeah, I could do that with this weapon,
Yeah.
All right. Does anyone else have any other gear that we need to talk about?
I do not.
Melanian. Okay, so Melanian, you got chainmail, so your AC should be 15.
Yeah, I haven't changed that yet. And the shield, while I'm holding my shield, it's actually +2 as well.
Oh, nice. So 16. Oh, cool. You're adding your stuff in. Great. Okay. Good.
Well, it's 15 without the shield and 17 with the shield.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll just set it to 17 for now, and then remember if I drop my shield.
Thaniar, why is your AC a 16?
It's supposed to be 16. Sorry, what is it?
15 with AC. With whatchamacallit? Oh, you know what, Steve? Sorry, hold on, bud. So you've entered all of your skills under tools. I'm just going to show you something. So you see under your saving throws, that's your list of skills. So I'm just going to tick the ones off for you that you're trained in. Boom, religion, insight, and athletics. Boom. Do you see what I did there?
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, oops.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get rid of those. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, and then whatever automatic proficiencies you get from your background.
I think Steve has it right. It says here chainmail is armor class 16.
Oh, is it 60? Sorry, guys. I'm stuck in...
Now, what about my dexterity? Do I not get an extra 2 for my dexterity then?
No, not to when you're wearing chainmail. You have to have lighter armor. Chains have heavy armor.
Okay.
It's because it's AC 5 in older versions of D&D, and I got that caught in my head. Okay, so all right, let's see here. Spells. What was your cantrip, Melanian, was create bonfire. Thaniar, what was your cantrip again?
I think I went with something called flurry, which is it sends out shards of ice.
Cool.
60 feet. That's a good little cantrip to have. Does D8 damage, so it's not too bad.
Okay, so I'll add the stats for that between now and next time we play. Okay, cool. So I think our characters are completed. You guys do you have your alignment selected?
Did you say we're all lawful?
You're all, I mean, what it is you guys aren't necessarily lawful, but the culture absolutely is.
I'll go with whatever the dominant culture was.
Yeah, sure. So that'll be, and then lawful good, lawful neutral, lawful evil. So lawful evil is just I'm selfish and I want to make the laws work for me. Lawful neutral is just the laws are the most important thing. Lawful good is I'm always yeah. Okay. Okay. Athaniar, what about and Melanian? Melanian is the only one I see maybe as being not necessarily lawful, but although I don't know because I could see that he's breaking the rules, but I don't know. What do you think?
Lawful neutral for me.
Lawful neutral. Okay, yeah, that makes total sense for your guy. What about Melanian? What do you think?
So if you, I don't have to be chaotic. Like, what if I'm not lawful, but I'm neutral then, or what?
Yeah, I mean, you could also be neutral, neutral good, neutral evil.
I mean, I don't see my character as evil.
Neutral evil is just like I'm the most important thing, and I'll fuck anyone over to get that.
Right.
Neutral good is just like you don't necessarily have a leaning towards law or whatever. Whereas chaotic good is fuck your laws. I'm going to do what's best.
Right.
I'm not as convention and the way things are done is not really something I'm concerned with. Whereas neutral good, it doesn't really take a stance in the whole law and chaos thing.
Actually, can I be chaotic good? I like that better.
You can, yeah. I mean, if chaotic good, I mean, that also might be why you've thrown yourself down. That might make sense as to why you're not still trying to serve as we're the nobility. We're above having to go out. Although, I mean, yeah, no, like the thing the reason I picked Blood Elves for this particular game, guys, is just because they're such an interesting race. Like they're in such a horrible fucking position. Arguably, they're in the worst position of any of the races in Warcraft. Like no other race has suffered a near genocide, as a result of how things went. Nor I don't think have many of the other races lost as much. The Orcs lost their planet at one point, but a great, good chunk of them survived that, and a good chunk of them made it their way to Azeroth, to this world. But the Blood Elves don't have anywhere to go back on, So let's see here. I think we've got everything selected. Then, do you guys have your gear listed in the in your character sheet?
I believe so.
Okay, so what you don't have is from your, what do you call it? Your background, but I can fill that stuff in. So the thing I plan on doing is, so Friday, so like whoever ends up making it on Friday, this is what we're going to play. So I think it's going to be me and Jeff. That's it, probably, but still, we're going to start playing, and this will be sort of our flex game for the foreseeable future. What I'm going to do too is I'm going to use the XP chart from Revised Stars Without Number and Godbound and whatnot. We're not going to use the traditional D&D thing. So what that means, Jordan, you haven't played in our any of these games yet, but what it means is basically after your first session, you guys are going up a level. After two more sessions, you're going up another level.
Mm-hmm.
So that way we can get a chance to get you guys to level 3 pretty quickly, but still actually spend some time at those low levels. Mm-hmm. So, Jeff, there's a good chance that you will ding partway through Friday's session.
Cool.
So you might want to think about what, if there are decisions to be made for your character at level 2, which actually I don't think there are for a, what do you call it?
No, if I remember correctly.
For the warrior.
There's not much that happens at 2.
Oh, we do have the most important thing to roll.
Oh, guys. Well, you gain your rage. Like, that's sort of the big thing.
Gain your rage? Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that is cool. Yeah. Okay. So let's do this as well. Let's get your height. Because, I mean, how can you have immersion in a role-playing game without knowing how tall your character is, right?
What do you want it to beat?
So what I need you guys to each do is give me a 2d10 roll, please. And what is this here?
Got it. 7 feet tall.
Okay, so 7
9
is.
feet tall. Is that how we're doing it?
So you are. Let's see, that's 6 inches. So
I don't want to be
you're.
exactly the same as Steve.
Boy, so you're the. So for you, those of you who rolled.
There we go.
Okay.
I just didn't want to be exactly the same as Steve.
Sure, yeah. So for Zama is 5'3",
Perfect.
and give me a D4 roll.
Perfect height.
Yeah, she's tiny, 3 apples tall. And then let's see, 21. That's 121 pounds.
So I'm hot. I'm just like a spinner.
Yeah. And then let's see here for Steve-O, for Thaniar is, let's see, that was a 9. That means you are 5'6". And give me a D4 roll, Steve. 5'6" and 118 pounds. So you're wiry. Quite wiry. And then Jeff, 13. Good Lord. You're a fucking titan as far as elves go. You are 5'10". And give me a D4 roll. 2. So then you are 126 pounds.
Is that under bio?
I think so, yeah.
You guys are the least intimidating warriors. 119 pounds.
The high elves are so tiny.
Hey, wait, what did you say I weigh?
You rolled 2, 126 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, you guys are not super heavy.
No.
So
to give context, like this is again like post-apocalyptic at this point too. So like you probably have not been eating huge meals. It's been 5 years since the scourge, so you're only now recovering from what would have otherwise been an apocalyptic event. So that sort of makes sense.
So it's like we're like on a World Vision Blood Elves commercial.
You are effectively, yeah. Like the let's see here. I've got some other I can give you as we're wrapping up the session here because we're at our Queen Town. Let me show you the where's the that ruins. Let's show you this because I like this illustration an awful lot. Here's what the Eversong woods look like, guys. Or is that the same illustration I just used? No, it isn't. Okay, cool. So that's sort of at what Quel'Thalas looked like when it was at its peak, what do you call it? Pre-scourge. It does not look as pretty now. And because I think it's a cool, oopsies, wrong thing. I'm going to show you one more thing here because I think it looks neat. This is what the streets of your city would have been like at the peak. And at the point we're starting, the city is effectively unclaimed. It's still ravaged by scourge and mana wraiths and all sorts of other evil shit. So this is what it looks like, guys. This was in better times. The streets of Silvermoon. All right. So that gives us our 3. As is often the case, I took longer than I expected, but I think it was just enough time to get 3 very interesting characters together. So that's cool. And what I'll do is I'm going to put oops, wrong thing. Let me just get rid of these other ones here. I'll put them under backups. So when characters fall prey to the scourge, we're going to have some backup characters ready to go. Okay, cool. So that I think brings us to the end of the sessions. We got. I'll add the rest of the information. I'll add your spells and stuff, Jordan, as well. And also, I'm going to use the rules that we've used in other campaigns too. So if you don't make a session and you are adventuring with characters that are higher level than you, you'll gain double XP for that session. You get basically 1 point per session or 2 points if it's higher. So you, in theory, could jump like 2 or 3 levels in, or jump 2 levels higher in a span of 2 sessions if you miss one. So All right, I'm going to jump out of the stream here and or the game, and then I'll commence with the outro. Exit the game. Stop sharing screens. Boom. There we go. All right. So for those listening at home, thanks so much for joining us for this character creation session for our effort to try and kind of relearn or reacquaint ourselves with 5th edition. And by ourselves, I mean, I guess me. So for my opportunity to reacquaint myself with 5th edition D&D, as always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, please don't hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section below, and I will endeavor to respond in a timely fashion. Alternatively, if you're matter's urgent, I'm leaving my voice message. Jesus, can you tell it's been a long week? Alternatively, you can reach me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is Dungeon Musings. You can also shoot me an email, and my email address is dungeonmusings@gmail.com. You'll also note that there is a link in the description of the video to the Heroes Save Villages, to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is, of course, the charity fundraising campaign that we're running on the channel. If you want to learn about the charity SOS Children's Villages International that this benefits, and you want to learn about the campaign itself, you can click through and learn all about that. There is, of course, no obligation. I just ask that if you if you did enjoy the session, if you do enjoy the content in the channel, that you just consider clicking through and learning a little more about it and see if it's something that you might want to throw your shekels towards. Last but not least, I want to thank my players. So Jeff, Steve, and especially Jordan, welcome to the stream. Thanks for playing tonight, guys. This was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Oh, of course. Cool. All right, then until next time, folks, thanks again for watching, and happy gaming.